I just want to give you guys a bit of an update with everything that's going to be happening with me for right now. So first off, yes, I am going to try to make a return to making content. But that being said, it may not be near as sporadic as I would like it to be, or in other words, frequent uploads, I guess I should say. Which I guess does kind of sound a lot similar to before my break. But the thing about the break was, well, I had to deal with a ton of stuff in my life, and I had to deal with that outside of YouTube, which prevented me from thinking straight to make the content before, which that's what led me to what happened. But suffice to say, I'm going to try to make my return to YouTube a little bit earlier than I was planning on. I think I'm actually in a more comfortable spot than I originally was a few weeks ago. But that being said, do not expect my content to be all bombastic and whatever else you used to expect from me, at least not for a while, because there's still stuff internally that I'm still dealing with, and I want to try to get them completely solved, or at least as solved as I possibly can, before I'm able to get to that particular point, which is why uploads are not going to be as frequent as I would like them to be. Now, all this being said, I do want to at least thank you guys so much for the support that you guys, oh my gosh, I am tearing up. This shows how much I'm so happy to have you guys, I guess. Because, like, honestly, the feedback that I got from the last video that I made, the last update video, like, you guys could obviously tell I was dealing with a ton of stuff in the background that I did not want to tell you guys before, but obviously I finally broke down and admitted it to you guys. You guys supporting me through a stressful situation, like something I wasn't expecting. We hit 1.8 thousand subscribers during my break, and the reason I bring this up is because it shows not the fact that you guys enjoy my content, I mean that does help, but shows how much you guys care about me as a person, and I'm so glad that I have you guys so that if I have something that I need to vent, I can let you guys know and I can get feedback fairly quickly, and just so happy with the fact that you guys show me so much positivity, and I just don't know how else to describe that. Now, in regards to the situation I mentioned in the last video, let me just say for record, first off, I'm not going to go into details about what ended up happening, but I do want to mention that the person that I've been discussing things with that was having the major issues, things at the very least have calmed down quite a bit. And I'm so happy for them. Now, I will go ahead and say this, I actually did not mention in the last video. Things have been kind of up and down the entire past few months, but it came to a major head a few weeks ago, which is why I felt I had to say something, and why I felt I need to take a break from all this stress so that I could try to work things out. And I'm actually glad that I did. It allowed me to at least get to a point where I'm actually able to think a little bit more clearly than I have been able to, because this has been in the back of my mind for pretty much the entirety of my content the past few months, even though it doesn't necessarily show. But it's been there. It's been on my mind the entire time. And I feel like I'm at a point where even if I do think about it, it's not going to be as big of a thing for me to put to the front of my mind, if that makes any sense. As far as everyone else involved in what was essentially creating the problem, things have calmed down a bit. It depends on who you talk to, but at least the more important people in the argument, so to say, have at least gotten to a point where they're able to effectively give up on the original problem in some circumstances, if that makes any sense. But suffice to say, the problem, even though it's not fully solved, it's solved enough to a point where everyone seems to be comfortable with what's going on, and that's a good thing. And I just don't know how else to thank you guys, and it's not because of the subscriber count that we got, but the fact you guys are here, again, to support me, not as a content creator, but as a person. And I'm so thankful that I have you guys here for me. I mean, there are things that I could be happy with and not have you guys in my life, but having you guys here makes it much more worthwhile, and I'm so glad for that. Anyway, I do plan on doing at least something later this week. I haven't fully planned out what or when, and even if it doesn't happen this week, then next week, I'm still trying to work this out because being through a super stressful situation and trying to get back into the whole YouTube thing, like, this is not going to be easy. I mean, YouTube itself to begin with is not easy, but going through something like this and then coming back to YouTube makes it even less easy. Hopefully you guys understand what I'm trying to get at. But yeah, again, content will be coming back. It's going to be a lot more spread out than I want it to be, but hopefully in due time, I'll be able to make it a lot more consistent. But for now, at least this is a better solution, and also a good solution, at least for me, because I'm in a much better position than I was before, and so is everyone else that I have been talking with during my break. Again, thank you guys so much for supporting me. I'll see you guys soon, I hope.